Okay, between these two lines here, price has traveled down to this low, up to this high, and where do we spend the majority of the time? In the upper portion of this range. But back and forth, we've worked inside this range, and now we left it and created an imbalance right here. See that? So when and if we ever get back to this time or price, which we did this week here, it's going to take a very significant price run to dig down all through this range of price because it's already went back and forth. There's nothing inefficient in here. That's what I'm getting at. Whereas we have an inefficiency here with the volume imbalance and the fair value gap together combined. It's easy for price up here to truck down into that. S&P has already and had already shown its willingness to want to go down and get into this area. So a six sister theory, which is what I teach too, is because these markets are closely correlated, that means they usually move in tandem, not minute for minute, not every single day, not every single session. Sometimes there's a crack in that correlation, and that in itself is an insight that you can use. But for the perspective of looking at setups that have yet to form, one of the indices, just like one of the currencies, might make a fast run before you get a chance to get a hold of it. No problem. If the other correlated markets or pairs, if you're trading forex, have yet to meet its respective objectives, and when we get into NASDAQ, I'll show you what I'm referring to specifically. But the S&P had been the laggard. That means it's been the weaker of the two. Remember, all through the beginning of the year, we were calling NASDAQ higher. It was the outperformer to the upside, and it was always delivering on the longs. When the market became bearish collectively, the S&P showed its weakness as the leader to the downside in terms of the speed at which it was reaching for its discount or raise, specifically these areas here. And I mentioned whenever there's a volume imbalance there with a inefficiency, you always want to highlight that as well.